Today, I want to tell you about an Italian pianist and composer, such an amazing pianist. He's actually known as the father of the pianoforte by the name of Clementi. Clementi was born in Rome in 1752 to an artist and musical family. His father was a silversmith, and his father quickly realized that his son had an amazing ear for music. So he started making sure he had lessons, and by the time he was 7, he was taking lessons in piano, but also in counterpoint, like basic theory and stuff like that. Now, he started these lessons at 7, but by the time he was 9, he was so good that he was the assistant of the church organist, which was a big deal. And he also started learning and figuring out how to compose. And so then by the time he was 13, he had actually composed a complete mass. When he was 14 years old in 1766, this English patron came to Rome by the name of Sir Peter Beckford. He was so impressed with this Clementi kid that he basically bought his apprentice and took him back to England with him. So Clementi lived at the Beckford estate in Dorset, England for 7 years. He had access to the best harpsichords and best keyboards out there. He had access to this vast library of music that he dove into. It was immensely good for his future as a musician. Also, of course, he learned to speak English fluently, and that helped. He definitely used this opportunity, and he practiced and practiced and practiced. So he came there as this promising, kid. But when he left, he was a virtuoso keyboard player. He had practiced so hard, and this kind of gave him the title of, later on, as father of the keyboard, not only because of that, but partly. So after he leaves there in his early 20s, he moves to London, which is a big bustling city. It also loves music. Now, the harpsichord had been the big thing, but the harpsichord was out, and the pianoforte was all the new rage, and Clementi became known as like the guy that was really phenomenal at this instrument. He was known for his clarity, his exceptional speed, there's precision, because he'd practiced all those hours, right? Now then, in 1781, he participates in a contest with none other than Mozart. Now, this is not in London. This is at the court of Emperor Joseph II in Vienna. And there's a contest. He's like, all right, all you great, you're all the greatest. That's not possible. So I'm going to have you guys all perform for me. Everyone has to improvise. And they tried, right? But now Clementi and Mozart kind of were like neck and neck. And Mozart's like, oh, he's not all that good. Like, he had an attitude about it, but actually everybody that was there is like, okay, this was a draw. They were both equally good. Now, Mozart was also impressed secretly because later on he used one of Clementi's themes that he had written and put it in his own composition of a magic flute. Now, in the 1780s and 90s, he was done with touring. He wasn't kind of feeling the pressure anymore. He had done it. So he no longer wanted to perform as much. So he really started doing other things. He started composing, and he composed a lot. But also he got into publishing music works, and he also started manufacturing pianos. And so he did still perform some because he'd go around all over to showcase the pianos he was trying to sell. So not only was this guy an amazing performer and composer, he was a really great and acute businessman. His publishing company in London, his music company, became vastly known and highly respected. And he published Mozart, and he published works of Haydn. And he actually made a deal with Beethoven and started publishing Beethoven stuff. And Beethoven really had great respect for Clementi. Now, many already saw him as the greatest pianist and like the father of pianoforte, but this is actually why I think that is a valid title. So he was creating and manufacturing pianos, and he was so aware and acutely attuned with what needed to be done. He actually made changes and like made sure that the mechanical action was perfected. And the way our pianos are now is largely thanks to him. So he helped create the ease of which we can now use the piano. Go guy. During the early 19th century, he continued to compose, but he was also traveling, not so much to perform. He was conducting and he was teaching. He really got into teaching, and he wrote a lot of work to help teach, like student piano books, right? And he wrote Gradus et Parsonum, and this is a collection of exercises and preludes and studies that are designed to develop a mastery at the piano. And people have used it ever since he wrote it. Actually, it really greatly influenced people like Claude Debussy, who references it in some of his works. So this guy was really into piano and made what we have now so much better. Towards the end of his life, things start slowing down. He starts traveling. Of course, he's always composing, but definitely slowing down. And then he passes away by the old age of 80, which was very old back then. Go listen to some of the wonderful works by Muccio Clementi.